You guys are going to like this one. Look, the main reason why my enemies failed is because they understood psychology. They understood causality. They understood how to get an emotional reaction, how to stimulate one, and then operate off reaping its benefits for the greater bad. So they understood psychology, but what they don't understand is that psychology books are incomplete without full understanding of the pineal function of the brain and expanded consciousness. See, I have extreme intelligence. I have a very balanced emotional control about myself, and I have certain aspects of me that are just, it seems otherworldly, but that's because it is. I live a spiritual life. I live a spiritual experience. I meditate every day without fail. I allow myself, my neurological function to be rewired and harmonized and in synchronicity with a spiritual element. So when they teach you about psychology, they teach you about human nature, nature versus nurture. They teach you about emotional reactions. They teach you about trauma responses. They teach you about all of these things. But what they don't have access to is the spirituality side of it. And it's connected. If you allow your spiritual experience and understanding after you've done the meditative work to rewire your neurological function, then you can transcend any kind of emotional causality quickly by bringing yourself back to balance. To truly live a spiritual experience is to understand the neurological function behind it, to understand how the brain actually works, to understand your own emotional balance or unbalance, whatever the case may be, because it wasn't in the case of my enemies, to understand your trauma, to understand your trauma responses, and learn how to consciously rewire your entire neurological functionality to gain clarity and wisdom based on spiritual understanding. I was very careful in my spiritual practices not to dive into the darkness. The darkness was being done to me. I had experienced it, but that wasn't where what I was allowing to guide me, and it was simple. I understood the energy behind it. I'm an empath. I have empathic ability. So by allowing my spiritual knowing, not just understanding, but true spiritual experience through meditation to guide my decision making process and do what was necessary based on that guidance to rewire my neurological function, the complete understanding of how my psychological mind works is different than most. I allowed spiritual guidance. It's all connected. So please don't let your understanding based on just psychology books or psychology teachings dictate your course of reality, because that's going to work for a layman. It's not going to work on me. That's why I am at the level I'm at. It's because I allowed God, I allowed Spirit to guide me into who divinity knew I could always be. I've accessed my divinity by acknowledging my direct connection. I didn't let the limits of normal human psychological bounds dictate my reality, because in spirit everything is limitless. So I became limitless as a human by acknowledging that connection to source. It's all connected. The neurology, the psychology, the spirituality, the discipline to maintain effective daily habits, the ability to regain control over your thought process, the ability to consciously rewire your neurological function. It's all there. And the thing is, this didn't come from books. It came from spirit. Everything happens in the spirit first. So be mindful of what spirit you're connecting to, because people are getting drugged down and falling off and doing all this crazy stuff because they're allowing the wrong type of spirit to guide their daily function. And you can see in their courses of action, it's simple pattern recognition exactly what's guiding them, what they're allowing to guide them. The thing is, change is possible at any time. At any time, you can choose to put down your ego. You can choose to see your life for what it is, and you can take back control with just some consistent hard work. At any time. It's always been a choice. Free will has always been in place. And if you choose the darkness, expect darkness to choose you too. If you choose the light, expect the light to become you, for you to be able to embody it fully and for your outside world to reflect that. It all boils down to choice. What they don't tell you is that anybody trying to force a certain set of circumstances on you or a certain mindset in you, they really have no power. They have none. Once you choose different, become different, and do the work to be different, that's what it is. You're different. You're no longer a slave to that system. In my awakened state, I chose to learn and grow and heal, and I chose to guide others towards that awakening and personal advancement because that brought me more peace, happiness, and joy than it ever did to be on the street. And believe me, I was out there. This was a conscious decision to learn, to grow, to heal myself because I didn't like the way my future was panning out. I was in some very dark circumstances put on by others, but I was allowed to transcend it, but it all had to happen in here first. I realize all of this. This is not an understanding. This is a knowing with clarity. This is what allows me to be who I am today. It's because I chose to be who I am today. And I chose to do the work to accomplish that. So please understand, regardless of social pressure, regardless of the shunning and the blah, blah, blah talking and all of the making fun of and all these other things, if those people are trying to keep you down, are they really supposed to be in your life? Is that really who you want to take your guidance from? Are you able to transcend that and become a spiritually balanced and powerful human being? Or do you wish to stay in the dark just because it's comfy there and that's what you know? Now you know different. Now you've been exposed to different. What's your choice now? Do you want the guidebook? Because I gave it. Free. Do you want the understanding and the knowledge? I gave it. Free. Or do you want to stay comfortable being surrounded by people that do not care about you instead of learning to love and care for yourself? My spiritual experience, my spiritual life allowed me to care so much for myself that radiated out to me even caring about my enemies. But it all starts here. It's okay to get started today. It's okay. And just realize you always have the power to choose. And if you're ever left alone because you made a choice, realize that's your time to grow into the person you're becoming. It's not a detriment. It means they're leaving you alone enough to give you that space to become better. It's a gift. Sometimes you just got to have the mindset to see the blessing where it lies and operate with certainty on that course. You have the ability to choose.